24 hours a day that like they eventually need breaks. Well, not really. They don't need breaks. They just need me to like maybe once every week or two restart. Like normally, someone doesn't keep their computer on 24 hours a day all the time. Normally, they shut it down, but I never shut my computer down. My computers literally run for years, 24/7. So anyway, that's what I've been doing with that. In terms of your question that you asked about the Tate brothers, we don't know a whole lot in terms of what happened or what these allegations are. They have 38 allegations or whatever. That's a lot. But these could be just trumped up charges. They could be, like false accusations. They're just trying to silence these guys. So, in answer to your question, what's going on with them? Your guess is as good as your average American, but they were arrested in Miami and I believe are awaiting extradition to England, which should happen within the next month or so.
Are you ready to because you will be one day the biggest person on the internet. Some people want to do this right. They do it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I invite it because I've only treated women in the past really, really well, and I have a record of it with lots of girls and only good experiences. Women speak very highly of me because I've treated them with respect. And so I invite, if anybody said Rabbi did something inappropriate, I have like 100 girls that will stand up. More than that. I have like, over the course of my life, I have like hundreds of girls who would be like, that's just not how he treats women. And on top of that, for the last like almost 5 years, I've been on camera. So there's a good question that somebody would be like, well, we know he hasn't done anything appropriate with women on because he's been on camera 24/7. Why didn't you bring this up beforehand? You're just trying to get money. But no, I mean, to be honest with you, I live a very religious life, so my interactions with women were limited for some periods of time. And then when I had my wilder side, I only treated women really, really well. So I would invite all the women with whom I've had any type of relations in the past to one day be together and to talk about me because I have that much confidence. Like I'm not worried about that at all.
Okay. Because someone can just made up, like they can say, yeah, he just be bad, was bad to me and this shit. Like if the money is small, everybody will but it ain't for that.
Well, that's true, but then the question would be, why didn't you bring this up before? I mean, Rabbi's been online for 5 straight years. It didn't bother you enough then, and we have hundreds of women who are going to talk about me in a positive way. So you'd have to be like, okay, so when did you guys ever meet? When did you and Rabbi ever meet? And under what conditions? And I mean, I know all of the women who with whom like I mean, it's a lot of women, but never at any point did I even like have anything like. I'm really big on consent, really really big on consent, and um, the worst that anyone would be able to say. I mean, there just really isn't a case of anybody who could be like as a woman. Rabbi treated me badly. I've only treated women like above and beyond with respect and kindness and love. And I mean, I always hold doors. I always pay for meals. I always write thank you notes. I'm invited to meet their families. Like I've only been really, really. Have I as close to perfect as you can, I would say. I mean, nobody's perfect, but like at least with women, I treat them very well. And um, have I been a perfect person my entire life? No. I mean, everybody has made mistakes, but I haven't made any mistakes that I don't think can be forgiven in the future. Certainly nothing like any kind of these types of assaults or anything like that. Nothing like that. So I'm not.
So like you are not
No, not at all.
this kind of
No, not at all. Um, in fact, I'm kind of the opposite. I would get joy out of all the women with whom I've had relationships or any kind of friendships and relationships in the past to come together. Like nobody else is going to tell you that, but I do. I mean, I've spoken to the women afterwards, and I don't hold grudges against anybody. And I generally like they don't either. I mean, the worst that I think probably. I mean, I had girls really crush on me really hard and write me love notes and love letters and stuff, um, and it just wasn't the right time with them. And so the worst they're going to say is, Rabbi just gave me space. But I've never cheated on anybody, which is a big deal, you know. So at no time, that's a really big one. At no time will any girl ever be like, he was in a relationship with me, and then there was this girl on the side. There's none of that. Not a single time I've ever cheated on anybody. So, like, that's really good. It's not like I've got like an ex-wife who's really mad at me. And any girl of the past, I've never cheated on. So I can say that like with complete clean conscience that like I'm a one person man kind of deal, and I've never cheated on anybody. I just haven't.
do you want to meet them one day and want to meet them and do something with them?
To be honest with you, I don't know that much about them, and I know you love them. I know that they've had some controversies in the past, and to be honest with you, I believe everybody deserves a second chance, and so I'd be willing to go in with an open mind and such, but I would want it to be public, and I'd want to live stream it and everything, and just like I would meet both sides of wars, and I'd meet both sides of religions, and I'd meet both sides of political questions. I would meet them, and I would also meet their accusers. I'd want to give their accusers their time to tell me what happened, and perhaps do interviews and stuff.
And why do you say What do you think that? What do you think that?
Because you have mentioned in the past that you want to be very successful someday. Like Elon Musk was number one, you said, and number two was Tate. And so I know you hold him in very high regard.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this. He's in the United States. He's kind of a fringe character. He's not like a mainstream celebrity.
But like one time, the Tate was the Google man on the
That's incorrect. He can tell you that all he wants, but no time is he ever bigger than Donald Trump. So he can tell you that, and that's a cool story. But if you were to ask 100 Americans, do you know who this guy is? Only like 10 of them would be able to tell you this person. He's small. Now, where is he big? He's big with men under age 30. Like that's his like men ages 18 to 30. That's his big group. But if you ask a 50-year-old man who this guy is, they don't know, and especially a 50-year-old woman doesn't know. He hasn't done anything. Like what did he do? He set up some kind of like sex trafficking website or something, and would basically get girls to do OnlyFans for him. That's not mainstream. It's not like he's been in a movie or he's been on television, or he is a politician. He's none of those things. In fact, he's basically a fringe, just not a mainstream character. But that doesn't mean he's a bad person or a good person or either way. It's just if you were to ask your average American, hey, do you know who this guy is? They're gonna be like, no. And those who know would be like, yeah, wasn't he arrested overseas or something? But like, but like, let me ask you, why is he famous? Are you gonna answer my question?
Sorry, I was. What was your question?
Why is Andrew Tate famous? Or his brother? I have no. To be honest with you, I have no idea who his brother is. And if his brother was sitting right next to me, I would have no idea. I have no idea what he looks like. I don't know what his first name is. I don't know anything about him. And you've got to understand as well, these guys, I know they're from the United States or whatever, but they didn't have traditional lives in the United States. They lived in England for a long time. They're not like from Los Angeles. They didn't grow up on television. I mean, I had to look this up the other day because I didn't know anything about it. Really, his dad was a chess grandmaster, and his mom was like, I don't know, had some kind of job. Like, it's not like it's like, oh, that's so and so's son, or some celebrity's family. Like we kind of have to do that now to get into the mainstream, or you have to have a television show, or you have to have a movie. I mean, does Andrew Tate even have a podcast? He's been on podcasts. He's been on podcasts. Oh yeah. Wait. The only reason why I know this is because I was scraping all this data and I saw he had a podcast. But nobody listens to that podcast compared to the Joe Rogan. Exactly. England, not the United States. So Americans don't watch British television, so we don't know. Like. I know he's from the United States, but we don't even really consider him like. He's an American, but he has like a mother who's not from the United States. He's a social media personality, is what he is, and he's the whatever. He's toxic misogyny and stuff like that. That's not mainstream. People don't like that. I mean, they like when you treat people with respect. Generally. So in answer to your question, he's not very well known in the core mainstream of the United States. And he might be known on Twitter or on social media or whatever, but that's still not the mainstream American, and his brother's certainly not known. And the fact that they have all of these charges against them isn't a good look for him, especially in different countries.
That's true. I know, right? He's going to be in England for him. It's because gonna spend lifetime in jail.
I disagree with you. He's not going to spend a lifetime in jail. And I think it's probably the best thing that could ever happen to his career. So he should be happy with this. It puts him in newspapers. It puts him in magazines. It puts him more on social media and more mainstream things. And of anything that Americans like is an underdog story. They like stories. Americans, we like stories of somebody who was hated and then eventually becomes loved.
A lot of people die for drinking and driving. It's caused by wine.
And his father was in I think languages. He speak languages, and he was Grandmaster and they have assistant.
Okay, so if you look at what he's known for, he's known for kickboxing. Nobody knows him. Nope. There's not. If you ask 100 Americans name a kickboxer, 99 of them can't name a single one. Ever. Of any kickboxer ever. He's known for his webcam business, which was a creepy thing. And then he's known for his criminal charges.
You're learning your best is Kishma.
Frankly, he's kind of like an Aiden Ross kind of character that the people who know him love him and are all about him. But he's still not very mainstream. Even Aiden Ross isn't that mainstream. Aiden Ross isn't an actor. He's not on television. He may say, well, he gets all these views on Kick and Twitch, but those are bots.
Gives you happiness. Me personally, if I drink, I start crying.
So how could they get bigger? It would be to go to one of the major television or Netflix or somebody like that and get your own television show. They're big enough to do that now. That's what, if I were Aiden Ross, I would say to him, you should go to Netflix or you should go to Amazon and you should have your own show. Just pitch them something. Just to become more mainstream.
They was
Okay, hold on.
This is big.
Piers Morgan isn't from the United States. He had a niche show on CNN. And I'm talking about, like, to get people in the center of America to know who you are, you have to do more than just be on some kind of, like, CNN show. And it's like, why should we even care about him? Where did he go to college? Like, does he have a degree? Exactly, but what I'm saying is, usually for people to take you seriously, you have to be educated. I'm not saying you have to be. I'm not saying you have to be, but I don't think he went to college. I'm not saying you have to, but it's like he didn't come from academia. He just had a kickboxing career. He was a failed kickboxer, and then he got into this webcam business where he took advantage of all these girls, which isn't cool. So he's a scumbag for that, at least for that part of his life. And then he had all the sexual assault allegations in Europe. But even still, that's Europe. That's not the United States. If these charges happened in Florida, or they happened in California, or they happened in New York, or they happened in, like, where more Americans are, we care more. But as of right now, he's kind of like a British person, he's American, he was born in America, but like, he just hasn't done anything in America that you can say to your average American citizen, don't you remember him from this? They're going to say no. Yeah, but so does everybody else. And
Whoa! It's
it's not like, I mean, to my knowledge, he's not really close with him. He's not, they don't take like a ton of pictures together, to my knowledge. And even if they do, Donald Trump isn't seen as that good of a person. He's seen as a very bad person by at least half the country. So that's not like a that's something that you really like want to embrace. And I don't know, maybe I just have like a view, a California based view, and what he's done is um, more like European, but I'm just incredibly I'm incredibly unimpressed with what he's done. I mean, he hasn't started any. He doesn't have any businesses that are like legitimate, or what does he do? Like embrace an energy drink or something like that? Like nobody, or a spokesperson for an energy drink. There's nothing. There's nothing unique about him. There are 1,000 Andrew Tates out there who are failed martial arts guys who get into the manosphere. Now, does that mean that I don't think he could be really big in the future? I do, because he could either be found not guilty or whatever. And then, but what does he need to do? He needs to start a business. He needs to be on television, be in a movie, have a music career. He needs to do something more than just kickboxing and having a webcam.
He's chess player too.
His dad's a chess player, yeah. If you ask 100 Americans to name 5 chess players ever, they can't do it. 99% of them cannot do it. You have to understand, chess in the United States is very niche. It's very small. They could maybe name Magnus Carlsen, Bobby Fischer, and Gary Kasparov. Those are the only 3 anybody can really ever. Aside from that, nobody knows it.
This is right. I think these allegations is fake, and I think they are innocent man. But we will see.
We will see, exactly. And do you know why you know more about them than perhaps most people? You follow them, you're their key demographic, but also they got in trouble in Romania, right?
Yes.
And guess what? Romania is a lot closer to where you are than where it is to where I am. Meaning, it's like maybe within 1,000 miles of where you are. So it's like, in the news and stuff. In the United States, it was like it's small. It's very small. He's absolutely not a big celebrity.
You need those carbs in order to
What do you think about World Cup? World final. The final.
What do I think about the World Cup final?
The thing that ruined that's what Hashem fixed him.
I'm glad that there's a new World Cup team that's the champions. I think it's good to have different people, different champions, if that makes sense. I think that
Their tornadoes with fire. So that's really something powerful. It's like really.
I think that
Sins, other Mauritian sins, with the fig tree. So I miracle, the maiden falling out of the fig leaf.
I think that, I mean, like most Americans, we don't care about soccer, so we will not pay any more attention to it until 4 years from now.
No.
Experts in international financial services destroy for the food platter.
I hate to say it, but like we just don't care about it. It's like the fifth biggest sport in the United States.
No.
There might be a little bit of care, very little, when the World Cup comes to Los Angeles in 2 years, or not the World Cup, the Olympics.
What happened?
You think if your best basketball and your best athletes play for you guys will win World Cup.
You're asking if our best athletes played soccer, would we win the World Cup? Yeah, we'd win it every single year. And here's why. We have the most amount of money for training of any country, and a large population, and we have really big people. So you could have like 7-foot tall soccer players if you wanted.
Everybody knows that your father
And like our best athletes don't play soccer. The reason why they don't play soccer is because soccer players make far less money than football players and basketball players and baseball players.
It's your fault. The kids are like this and like this and like this. It's causing
But I'm not making 10 times more than like your best basketball player.
No, that's not correct. LeBron James makes as much as Ronaldo does. And Michael Jordan makes 10 times more than Ronaldo.
Once a woman, one of the wives of Donald became pregnant, she didn't have any contact with her.
But why you guys calling yourself when you play NFL and these games, when you play NFL and these games, it's only play in the American, when it's only play in the
In terms of baseball, there is a team from Canada, and the idea is we bring all the best players in the world to our country to be able to play. So all our sports generally have like people from a lot of different countries. So we basically say that if you're going to play here, we take the best of the world. But it's just an easier thing for branding, like the World Series. So, like, take the World Series. The best Japanese player in the world, Shohei Ohtani, he plays in the United States. He plays for the Dodgers. All the best Latin American players. All the best players in the world play in the United States or Canada. So we call it the World Series.
But that for me, if you say world champion, you will Argentina, Brazil, that's why world champions mean.
I know you say that, but Argentina doesn't have a good enough, they're not good enough at the sport to be able to put a team together to be able to compete with the best players from the United States.
Yeah, that's true, but I think you cannot say you are more when you play in your country and not play against other countries.
Okay, but here's the thing, they play in our league. All the best players from Europe all the best players from Europe come to the United States and play in the NBA, right? Is there a single really, really good, like overly good European player who refuses to play in the United States? No, they all do. Wembayama and Dirk Nowitzki and all the best European players come to the United States to play. It would be different if the United States said you have to be American to play in our league, and we're going to call ourselves the world champions. That would be different. But it's not that way. We invite people from all over the world, the whole world, to come and play. And if you win, then you've beaten the best of the world.
Why? Why did I drink more? Why American things is and more popular than vodka is more views than NBA and finals and your football finals.
Well, the World Cup is it comes down to how easy is it for people to get into the sport. To get into soccer, you just need a ball, basically. You don't even need shoes. To play football, to play American football, you need cleats, you need a ball, you need a helmet, you need pads. So a bunch of people who are poor, soccer players, can watch it and get into it, and then because most of the world is poor, it gets a lot of views. But like in comparison, like we have a big basketball tournament in the United States called the NCAA basketball tournament, and it has a bunch of games in it, and it over the course of its time gets about as many views in the United States as the World Cup does. The World Cup the World Cup didn't get as many views in the United States as the Super Bowl does. It's just not as big. And on top of that, the World Cup is once every 4 years. And our sports are once every year. If the World Cup were every year, it wouldn't get nearly the ratings that it does.
It's not going to draw him into it.
Like between Argentina and Spain was watching 2 million people. 2 billion people. Oh my god. There's so much people. Like football is bigger than your sports because your finals never 2 billion people.
What's going on here?
It's once every 4 years. If you compare it with the Olympics, that's more comparable. It's only once every 4 years. And the people who are watching it are poor. They're from like Latin American countries, and they're from Africa, and they're from like poor European countries. I'm not saying everybody, but it's not like 2 billion people watched it and they're all extremely wealthy, and we're missing out on this huge amount of money that we could be making. It's not that way at all. It's a huge group of people, and I don't want to put them down because of what their net worths are. But it's like, in terms of money, if you compare the Premier League, you know what Premier League is, right? Do you know what the Premier League is in soccer? Okay. You compare the Premier League, and those are the best players in the world, and they play a championship once a year or whatever, versus the NFL. The NFL is worth more than the Premier League. That's more comparable.
Any artist you want to take home, but anything that has real value
I will tell you this though. One day the United States, maybe over the course of the next century or so, will win a World Cup. It'll take time, but soccer's growing, and when it happens, it'll be the biggest sport event in the history of the United States.
So like you are doesn't matter when World Cup final is because people watching almost 2 billion people and only 150 million fans all over.
Well, the Super Bowl is every year, and the World Cup is once per year, or once per 4 years. So it's not fair. You're comparing an event that happens annually with one that happens every 4 years. It's rarer. If the World Cup happened every year, you wouldn't get 2 billion people watching. I'm not saying that the World Cup isn't a great event and I don't enjoy it. It's just soccer is the 5th biggest sport in the United States. And it's even getting surpassed by other sports. But one day the United States will have a really good soccer team, either because we pay people more or whatever, and it will be the biggest sporting event in global history when the United States wins the World Cup. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
All right. So, the United States hasn't ever even been close to winning. So people don't get that excited for it. But one day it will, and then it'll become much bigger. But even still, the things that people don't like about it are pretty simple. It's too low scoring. It's so boring to watch a 0-1 match. It's too boring. The flopping, guys just falling down for no reason, is ridiculous. There are too many stoppages. The fact that it doesn't end at a given time, like in the United States in our big sports, when the time runs out, it's over. It's done. There's none of this, there's this random amount of time that continues afterwards. You can manipulate games that way. Americans don't like it.
I think your president you guys manipulating very good and very hefty.
We do, but most Americans didn't really care about that. And if anything, they should change the rules. If you do something bad in the game or whatever, why should you give the next team a huge advantage when they had nothing to do to earn that advantage?
When you do horrible foul, you need to be done.
Okay, then you throw the guy out of the game. Great, and he can play the next time.
I think in this we are basically forever in this because we are in the other side barricade. And that's good. I will tell you this.
Okay, tell me what you want. Okay.
Ronaldo, every million USD in the LeBron James only make 138 million of US. So another is
Look at Michael Jordan's net worth.
That's how we heard the story. The Shamayim heard like that because you're meant to do what I took that as a lesson that started this year. Whatever I didn't say,
another money come in, but Michael Jordan has more.
That's all that matters, my man. Ronaldo stops making money when he retires. I mean, he'll do other stuff, but he won't get those big contracts.
His very first year, hopefully, left. That's 3 shots. Ari Friedman, 2 portraits in the office.
Football is more than basketball.
Like what do you mean?
In basketball, you have time and in the football, you need to run 45 minutes. 45 minutes. They're not trying stoppage, and there's no trying stoppage, and bigger field is like more.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Bigger field.
You're not going to get a lot of people who disagree with you. But it is easier to play soccer professionally than it is basketball. Basketball is very, very difficult to play.
I don't think so.
No, it's true. It's true. If you look at the amount of people who have ever played professional soccer, it's lots of people. With soccer or with basketball, it's like 3,000 people. It's not that many. They don't have as big of teams. An entire basketball team has like 10 players. An entire soccer team has like 20 players.
If I never played basketball in my life, and I will start play right now. I better in basketball than you can be better in football. If you don't play football, if you don't have a talent.
Okay, you're wrong. You have a better chance to play soccer professionally than you do basketball. Just ask ChatGPT.
It doesn't matter. The point is the kids are into learning. They're into it. It doesn't matter what. I didn't show this yesterday, did I? Show this to the Hebrew share. Ellie Wisnikowski, Monty Emerald, since Bubba Kama. This is how he does. He's on what's it called? Not a call. He's a dispatch. Here we go. Full disclaimer. 5% for sponsors. Wow, believe. 7-month sponsors. That's really nice. I like that. We had 2 more since yesterday. This sounds sponsors. The full disclaimer is Time Schwab and out on the phone from a grateful family. The 7 sponsors for stuff of working together. This just hit me in my head. I heard that Reviews was trained for the veterinary phone, so I'm inviting him. Wow, come to this year, see what it's like. The owner of Ami magazine. That's the stuff. Oh, yeah, really? Okay. You want to see?
Okay. Football has much greater global a competition played by hundreds of millions of people around the world. Making into FBA is extremely difficult due to expectation level of talent.
Who started learning Dafyom at age 70 and continued for 2 years of doing this. The Masechta for the unity of the Jewish people.
I mean, just look up how many people have ever played professional soccer and compare that to how many people have ever played professional basketball. And it's a lot more people play professional soccer. Now, I understand what you're saying. Soccer is played in more places in the world. I get that. But the chances are, just from a height standpoint, of you being an average individual, being able to play in the NBA, being able to play soccer, you have a much better chance of playing soccer.
By Leon Sponsor for speedy release from house arrest of Ari Rosenfeld, Arne Van Hilda Esther Gibbon. Leon Welfare doing right now. You see every single day, remember? You didn't even see him, so security for him. Look at the frame, not the frame, not. Good. By Beyond Rosenfeld, Pat Slock. Parnasa, Yishkar Beyond Rosenfeld, he's on a triple dog. That's tremendous. Parnasa, Hatzloch and Parnasa. The Parnasa Chodesh Yosef Chaisara Batzlocha Baruchnius Hu Begashmi is Carly Lemon sponsored by HYK Ventures in honor and for this accessible art flight. Parnas Hayoim Yitzhak Schefter, which later from my dear grandmother, Kayla Bas Sora Miro. Parnas Hayoim Tani Power. Lili Nishmat's my father, Shmuel Menachem ben Rav Tzuvi Yaakov, Bob Shvat, Toshin Tayawa. Parasayoy, Zech Nishmat, Yitzchok, Yehuda Leif Stefanski. The famous Yitzchok Stefanski was lifter yesterday. He's the original owner of the Argentina, the famous founder of Lakewood, Thailand. He actually was part of the why he came to give shear in Lakewood. He came in his wheelchair with his stay and told me on the shear between the Buddha. But he was my father's cousin. And he used to come to every single one of our schools.
You've been in this is to be in NBA, then to play professional. You've been this band.
Isn't that surprising? Because you would think, well, there are so many soccer players that you have to be really good. But basically, if you're born under 6'4", there's no chance you're going to play in the NBA, or at least maybe 6 feet. There's just no chance.
True.
Like if you had a child, if you aren't extremely tall, and you have a child, there's basically zero chance that they're going to ever be able to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
And there are so few NBA. I mean, there are only like 10 guys on an entire NBA team. There just aren't a lot of spots.
Yeah. True. I'm this one.
Right, big dog.
but like what I in these rights is the hardest modern basketball.
I don't disagree with you on that. Basketball is incredible, much easier than soccer. I agree with you on that. You in soccer don't get timeouts, you don't get breaks. Like basketball, you get to go sit in a chair. So I didn't disagree with you on that. So there's no win. You didn't win anything on that. I agree with you.
He had a great stick he taught us. What's his great stick? That the third of the people are feeling already nervous. So what about the whip and the breath of the player? What this?
But soccer, I mean, chances are soccer is probably the easiest sport, or pardon me, arguably the hardest sport of your major sports because there's so much running and no breaks. But you have a longer career in soccer than you do in many positions in like American football. American football, and the argument is you have long-term damage much longer than in soccer than you in American football with like concussions and stuff.
How long does it take? A minute, that means to forget.
That's true. But when I football is harder than American football because basically in American football you need to be just big and strong. But in football you need to have all the techniques, shoes, dribbles, passes, stamina, speed, and this.
You need all of those in American football. Here's the thing. I mean, if you want to look at it like that, just look at the average career of a professional soccer player versus the average career of a professional American football player. And it depends on the position as well. So like a kicker in American football has an easy position. They can have a career for 20 years. But like a running back's average is like 2 years.
And also, football is more famous than basketball and your American football combined.
Yeah, because you just need a ball to play it. So it can be played in places with huge amounts of population. Really easy. But I mean, it's not the most famous sport.
Football is the most famous sport in the world.
No, it's not. Running. Because everybody has to run at some point if you have the ability. Not everybody plays soccer, but everybody runs. Do you agree?
The football is generally considered the most popular sport in the world.
But you're not including running. Ask it, do more people play soccer or do more people casually run in the world?
but it's not capable of producing its value. It's more it's like
I mean, don't you agree that everybody who plays soccer has to run at some point, right? Except maybe the goalie, but even the goalies run.
Yeah, yeah,
So, like, and then you could make the argument, okay, well, what about walking?
yeah, you have to. Jogging is more
Exactly. But in terms of like organized group activities, soccer is the biggest one. I don't disagree with you on that. And it's the most viewed, but it is not the most valuable, which is interesting. It is not the most valuable.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
American football is the most valuable sport. American football is the most valuable sport globally.
That's good. That's good. But like if you mean the most valuable sports globally, plurality, worldwide impact, then is number one.
Okay. So the NFL is worth more than the Premier League. If you combine everybody in soccer, maybe it has more.
But again, fan base and worldwide impact, then football is number one. Number one.
So if you have them serve Murray who's a father, you can't kill him. Now here's the question. How old is Terry Murray? How long? What's the period? So yesterday we said 3 months.
Soccer is definitely the most popular in the world.
So when exactly did he become a father? How could he become a father?
But its pro league is not as worth as much as American football.
He could only become a father once he turns 13.
Yeah, yeah.
So he only has a 3-month period for the baby to be born. In order for not to kill him, he has to have a born baby. He has to have a baby that's in this world. And that takes yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I hear what
NFL is richest individual sports by annual revenue.
That's correct.
Football is an global sport and worldwide economic
I mean, if you want to get into worldwide economic impact, okay. I mean, there. Let's look it up.
in order to say that it's what's the name?
When you combine the NFL, college football, high school football, youth football, including flag football and everything, versus soccer globally, which one is worth more money?
So
I'm looking it up.
He had a baby before he had his second child. He could choose to have. Now, these are more introducing for 3 months. We didn't know this before.
it seems as if globally soccer would be just because it has so many people who are playing it. Well, hold on a second though. While this is different, let me